Up after the break, we'll take a look at.
Pardon the interruption for a very important news update.
This is no holds barred. We go hard, we go harder. In the ring, on the mic, every shot is your holds barred. Feel the charge, feel the armor. Bobby Josh in your brain, turn it up, go farther, farther, farther. Theme hits loud, then the grips come off. Call out the card, call every payoff. Botches, legends, titles, and heat. Pay-per-view nights, run it back, repeat. They slam, we analyze. Move for move, every feud, every bruise, every pivot move. This is no holds barred. We go hard, we go harder. In the ring, on the mic, every shot is your holds barred. Feel the charge, feel the armor. Bobby Josh in your brain, turn it up, go farther. Turn it up, go farther. Turn it up, go farther. No script, just true. Every jab breaks through. From the bell to the brawl. Name the show. We want it all. 1, 2, 3. This is no holds barred. We go hard, we go harder. In the ring, on the mic, every shot is no holds barred. Feel the charge, feel the armor. Bobby Josh in your brain, turn it up, go farther. Turn it up, go farther. Turn it up, go farther.
All right. Hello, everybody. Good evening, and welcome to the No Holds Barred Wrestling Podcast. I'm Bobby Melendez, joined always by my tag team partner, Josh Kimmel, and this is our post-PLE reaction show for the Royal Rumble. The road to WrestleMania has begun. WWE has been driving the bus, and now they're taking the exit, and they're on their way to WrestleMania. Before we get into the big event, let's say hi to Josh. Josh, how you doing, my man?
Doing pretty good. Did I fall asleep during the show? More on that soon, but it was a show. I'm thankful that we didn't have to stay up till 2 a.m. to watch this show. I am thankful it started I watched the pre-show. I'm a psycho. I watched the pre-show. I have thoughts on pre-show. Did you watch the pre-show?
No, I did not. No, I did not.
I just small thought. Small thought. So nothing like content wise. The content's good. Like they pretend like it's a real event. They'll do like how the NFL does. Wade Barrett sat down with Sami Zayn. They'll show like a little preview of it coming up with that late. Like that's good. But they had CM Punk on the panel the entire time. And if CM Punk's job was just to S on everyone's point and be a heel, then he did a good job. Like every time, like, count down the top 10 Royal Rumble moments of all time or participants. And number 1, like 2 was Shawn Michaels, right? Like they just did a whole list. And CM Punk's like, oh man, if and they showed highlights. If Shawn Michaels is 2, who's going to be 1? And then it showed Cody throwing CM Punk out. And you just saw Punk's face like he was legitimately like upset. And he's like, oh yeah, I got thrown out. And by the way, I had a torn tricep, by the way. And then, who's this? The short guy, the funny guy who's not a wrestler.
Is it the bald
Sam
one?
Something.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, that wasn't even my number 1. Here's my number 1. And Punk's like, oh, I know where this is going. And it didn't go the way Punk went. And it went Tyson.
Going under the ring.
I
did see clips of that. Yeah.
And CM Punk's like, I don't find this funny. Like he was dead serious. I don't find this funny. Like he could have died. This was not funny. I don't know why.
I would have thrown myself over the top rope if I saw that.
Yep.
Sure you would have. Yeah.
Like, dude, he was like that the entire pre-show. Like he didn't want to be there. He S'd on everyone's point. It was a bad look for CM Punk. I'll just say that. As a babyface champion, it was a bad look on him. But that's him. Like that's who he is. That's Phil Brooks. Other than that, though, the pre-show was fine. Just wanted to point that out. The face of your company's opening, S'ing on your stuff the entire pre-show. Literally. So I don't know, man. I think he just didn't want to be. Did you see the Becky Lynch comment?
No, I didn't see that. I saw the one where I'm forgetting his name. It wasn't Sam Roberts. I'm trying to remember his name. I know who you're talking about, the bald guy, but he was saying he was, I don't know what it was alluding to, but he was like one of the things that was piling on with Sam Punk was when the guy, maybe it was Pete Rosenberg. Is that who it is? Pete Rosenberg?
Yes.
Maybe I'm butchering it. Is that right? Well, he said, he was like, how, we all, we're sure, idolize or whatever Hulk Hogan when we were kids, something like that. He said, how we all, and Punk was like, where were you? Where were you from? Or something like that. It's kind of like this piling on. So that adds to it too. Which we know Macho Man, Roddy Piper, those are CM Punk's guys, but it's like every little thing you got to add to it, throw further dirt on whatever you're trying to do. But what did he say about Becky Lynch?
They're just going through and he's like, oh, I just hope she bombs so bad that it can turn this place back into a parking lot. And it did not go well at all.
Ooh, at all. Interesting. I gotta look that up. I didn't know it was that bad. I did not see that was that bad. My kids were watching that. I didn't.
He said something like, oh, I heard this place was a parking lot about 30 days ago. I hope she bombed so bad she turns this place back into a parking lot.
I don't know who he is. I don't care about his politics.
I didn't know he was. I didn't know.
I didn't know anything about it. You care more about it than I do, brother.
But let's talk about the entire show, because that's what this show is going to be. Royal Rumble PLE reaction show. It just went down. Roman Reigns just threw out Gunther to win the 2026 Royal Rumble. Tiffany Stratton had a surprise return. She had a great performance, but in the end, we saw the winner of the Women's Royal Rumble, Liv Morgan, go on, and we had two singles matches, one a retirement match and one a WWE World Heavyweight Championship match, and a bunch of fluff in between. So, Bobby, I'm assuming you want to start at the top, the Women's Royal Rumble. So go ahead.
Yeah.
How'd you enjoy it?
So with the Women's Royal Rumble, I had some people. I have to call back Dave Stager. So if he's watching, I will call you back doing the show. But he was a little put off. He hated the women being in the full body suits because of Saudi Arabia, and I get it. That's always something kind of takes away from it. Not as much surprises as I thought there would be, but now that I think about it, maybe that made sense. We did get to see Brie Bella come back. I thought that was, that moment and the way they handled it. They made Nikki Bella look really strong, when she came. I was surprised with what they gave her, in that moment. And then, of course, when her sister comes in and you have the Bryan Danielson moments, which is cool. And it's cool that it travels overseas to Saudi Arabia. That's how far his reach is. And obviously Brie Bella's reach. Really cool to see her back. Lash Legend was fun. I think that was really cool how they put her over. Sal was awesome. As it got further in, I'm like, okay. When I saw Belair wasn't there, I was like, okay, it's Liv. It has to be Liv Morgan. First of all, shout out. I'll just say this just straight up because I know you're going to get into it. I enjoyed the show overall. I really did. Worst Royal Rumble in years? No, it wasn't. Snooze fest? No, it wasn't. I think, when I listened to my kids and I told them, because every time someone came out, they were screaming, oh, I'm like, these guys are on every week. What are you guys doing? And then I stood back and I was like, you know what? This is what we're lacking in the fandom now. Us so-called diehard fans are so goddamn critical of every little thing. We can't just sit back and enjoy the show and see the moments, and the matches will never get to see those moments where they tease, oh, this guy's gonna go against this guy. We have to overanalyze every little thing. Why did this guy show up? Why did this person get eliminated? I'm listening to these kids who have nothing to do with what the hell we're talking about, and they're just enjoying the show. And I got to realize, like, this is what they're doing this for. So when I did that, then I was like, okay, you know what? I ain't worried about who I thought was supposed to. I don't care who I thought should show up, who I think should win. I'm going to sit back and enjoy it. And as I did, you know what? It was a damn entertaining show. The Women's Royal Rumble was a lot of fun. Again, Lash Legend looked really good. I was surprised how far they put her over, but I'm glad they did. That's a newbie to WWE fans' eyes, not NXT, but WWE fans, they're seeing something like, who the hell is this? She stood out. Again, I was surprised by Nikki Bella. I didn't really even get the chance to see Becky Lynch. I stepped away, and then I knew she came out, and then I knew she was gone. I can confirm I'm not a 7-year-old. Show sucks. Well, I'm not a 7-year-old, and I know the show didn't suck. You're just, IWC. Everything to you sucks. You let me know when you think something is good, and then I'll get back to you. Then I'll trust what you're going to say. But the final four, the final three, Raquel Rodriguez was awesome. And I love where that's going to go. I was, my Audrey felt betrayed that Liv Morgan eliminated Raquel. That's the heel, baby. That's what you're supposed to do. It was great. She did it, but Raquel looked awesome. She killed. I love this new Raquel Rodriguez. I'm glad she listened to Kevin Nash. Nash has been in her ear. He's continued to be in her ear, and she looks the part. And this is creating a new star in Raw for the women's division. Was Liv Morgan the right choice? In my opinion, she absolutely was. Liv was the right choice. Let me ask you very quick. I want to get into Brie Bella in that moment there and what you thought of it. But before we get into Brie Bella, just quick, your thoughts on the Women's Rumble and your thoughts on Liv winning. You did pick Liv to win, right? I picked Belair. Did you pick Liv, or was that Chris? We were on last night with Chris.
We were on last night on Finstock Extra, and I'm going to be completely honest with you. I had to rewatch the show because I forgot who I picked. But I know who I was rooting for. I'm always going to root for Liv. I think Liv is the best women's wrestler in the world. I think I even said that last night on the show. She is the best women's wrestler in the entire world. And I'm glad that she finally won this match. I'm okay with her winning the match. You said, maybe I'll save this list for later because you asked me, or you said it to one of our viewers, DSG, of course, one of our loyal listeners, one of our homies.
Yes.
Make a list of something that you like and you'll trust them. I already had that idea. I have a list of, see how small my list is? I have a list of everything I liked on the show.
All right.
This isn't.
I have one complaint, but I'll hold it towards the end. I do have
last edit. Look at guys. 546. You didn't ask for this, but let me read my list real quick of things I liked, and then I can go on with a review. Okay? Is that okay with you, Bobby?
This is the whole Rumble now.
This is everything I liked on the show. Then we'll go back to the rundown.
Okay.
I forgot how much I missed Tiffy time. I enjoyed that. I forgot that she was even on the roster. That was an amazing surprise for me. I loved it. I loved the interaction with Tiffy time and Charlotte Flair in particular. I thought that was cool. Powerhouse Hobbs is dead. Royce Keys is over. He didn't get a reaction over there because they didn't know who he was. I thought they shouldn't have debuted him in the Royal Rumble. I thought this was a bad spot for him only because of the spot they were in Saudi Arabia. If this was in the States, he would have been a massive pop. He didn't get any pop. It was kind of crickets.
Okay.
But he was over. To the fans' eyes, to the IWC's eyes, IWC, to everyone's eyes, he looked good. He looked like he belonged.
I did like the moment with him and Cody. I thought that was really cool. Even though the average fan doesn't know about that, doesn't know about them, I thought that was a neat little tribute to their history together. But go ahead.
Yep. It would have been better if it was Ricky Saints because they have a better history, but we'll get there. LA Knight, superstar. Like, when is WWE going to learn that he's a superstar? We'll talk about LA Knight more as the night progresses, but you can't deny all the screw-ups he's had since last year's Rumble with Drew McIntyre, with the if you watched Unreal, which I'm sure we're going to cover Unreal in weeks to come, where Triple H reprimands him for messing up. He seems like he messes up a lot. He proved tonight that he was pretty good. Massive pop. No AJ Lee. I called it last night. I'm so thankful she didn't show up tonight. We didn't need her. The story's over. Move on. No Chris Jericho. Thank goodness. Thank goodness we didn't see Chris Jericho. I didn't want to see it. Obafemi was dominant, but not too dominant. And my last one, Javon Evans and Sol Ruka were the best parts of both Rumbles. That's what I wrote. Those are my favorite parts of the show.
I was so happy to see Sol and what she was able to do. And I love the moment between her and Charlotte. Charlotte looked great. Charlotte was awesome. Obviously, you know how I feel about that. But overall, I did. I like how they treated her. But Sol Ruka being in that final four, having those moments, in the final three, that was epic. Justin, shout out to Justin Toner and Josh Mabry. They were doing a live reaction show as the PLE was going on. I tuned in. Those guys are awesome. What's up, Jay Deuce 38 in the house? Appreciate you tuning in. Of course, DSG, he says Hobbs and Oba look like twins. Bad booking. I thought they booked Oba really well. I just love it, And when I saw it was gonna be him and Breaker, I was like, oh, there it is. We'll get into it, but I was like, well, wait a second. But
I don't want to derail it.
Rewind. Yeah. Well, that's on you. You did it. No, let's rewind.
Yeah.
Well, let's get back. We just came off a live show. We don't have time to digest anything. We're reacting raw live. No pun intended. Raw reaction. But go ahead. Your thoughts first off. Just on the women's Royal Rumble, Liv Morgan, and of course we'll get into the spot with Brie Bella. But before that, let's get into the Rumble itself with the women's and Liv Morgan.
Gotcha. So Liv was the right choice. She deserves it. I'm assuming she's going to be facing Stephanie Bakir at WrestleMania. Sure. Well, I guess Liv can carry that story. Liv can do a promo. Liv can wrestle. Liv can carry that. I know Stephanie Bakir lacks in the promo department and storytelling department, but she could wrestle. So that's going to be a fun, entertaining match. I'm not too hyped for it. I wish it was Bianca versus Jade set up, but we didn't get that.
Yeah.
We might get that in a different way. Not sure yet. I'm okay with Jordan Grace and Jade, by the way. I saw that little angle on SmackDown.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Jordan Grace she looks the part. She's actually a better wrestler than Jade, of course. She looked good tonight. She looked good in the ring in the Royal Rumble with the women. I know she's been there before. A bad spot, a poor spot, which Justin in the chat's going to crush me for this. Josh Deuce might crush me for this. DSG is going to have my side. We've had enough of Roxanne Perez. She's not good. She's ungood. She doesn't get it. She doesn't. The whole I know it's only one spot, but the thing she does it too often, and it's so phony and fake and bad. And you take that with everything else that she botches with, you might not see it. She's just not good. They got to drop her. And I hope they do. I hope Liv moves on from all this. She's better than all this. Overall, though, it was fun. Like you said, fun. The crowd was into it. They popped for Brie way more than I thought they would, but they really popped for Bryan Danielson, let's be honest. But it was cool to see them two together. The Bella twins doing the whole L spot again, bringing back old memories. It was an overall fun match. Fun. Probably the most fun I had all night.
That's fair.
Because what we got after was not fun. This was fun. Not good. Let me ask you this, Bobby. Fun and good are different, right? Fun and good are different. I can sit down and watch a Tyler Perry movie and have fun, but I know it's not a good movie. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I can sit there and watch Lincoln. It's a good movie, but I'm not having fun watching it.
That's fair. Love that.
This was a fun match, but it wasn't good. That's all.
But the Rumble doesn't have to be good. It's just fun. It's fun. You just have to make sure that there's the good spots. That's the thing. The Rumble is not supposed to be, this is a 5-star match. It's not meant to be a 5-star match. It's supposed to be fun, thrilling. You're supposed to have big spots, and then you have the good finish. Was it a good finish? Did it make, the spot where the Bella twins show or Brie Bella shows up and, they have the mega spot. And yes, Justin's right. Nikki Bella and Brie Bella were way over. I mean, the crowd was popping. And again, they both looked, especially Nikki Bella, looked like $1 million, when she came in the ring. And then you think about that final three, and with Sol Roca and Liv Morgan, and at first the final four, Raquel. Again, at one point, I told my daughter Audrey, I was like, man, wouldn't it be cool if like the wild card was Raquel and she won this? I really felt at one point they could shock us. But, of course, Liv pulls off the ultimate heel move and throws Raquel over. And I would love to see, it's kind of remind me of Shawn Michaels and Diesel. Does that factor play in, with these two? But I get your point. But the main thing that you said that I think that maybe you should take from it was that it was fun. It was a fun match. They delivered. There was some good fun moments, and there were some girls that went in there who were stars if you watch NXT, but weren't superstars that are coming out. People go, man, who's Sol Roca? If they're not watching NXT, who's Lash Legend? Lash Legend looked like $1 million, So it delivered. And again, I'm with you. Belair, probably if Belair was there, would have been a better choice. Or someone else, because you think about it, if Jordan Grace would have won, you got Jade Cargill, or if, Belair would have won, Jade Cargill, because you're thinking Liv versus Stephanie Bakir. if that is where it's going to go, does that change? Do they take the belt off of Stephanie and throw someone else in there for Liv? Because I don't know. Even though I know those two are going to put up a good match because Liv is one of the best and Stephanie's obviously great in the ring. Stephanie Vicker. I just don't know how I feel about the feud. I don't know what it's going to lead up to. That's my only thing in regards of her being the winner. So is what it is.
Justin, I forgot about her. The woman in the white. I never seen her. I don't watch SmackDown. I know she's on SmackDown. Kiana James. First off, yes, she's awesome. Where'd she come from? I don't watch NXT. If you're a new viewer, I don't have time for it on Tuesday. But whoever that woman is, awesome. JC Jane, a lot better than I expected. I thought she was just a pretty girl that held the title. I'm always thinking like, why is she champion? Why isn't it Blake Monroe or someone better? No, she's well deserved. She's pretty good. It was nice to see the young NXT women get a chance and to show out because they did. There was a spot where there was three of them, Lash Legend, JC Jane, and Kiana James, I think, or maybe a Sol Ruka. I don't remember what it was. It was a long time ago. It was at 2:00, and all three women just had that moment like, oh yeah, we're NXT stars. I will say this, and then we could probably move on from this. The end, where all the women were on the apron, and they had this wonderful spot with Sol Ruka and Liv Morgan, and that's how she did the finish, where she did the Oblivion from the outside. To that spot, that whole sequence with the three women on the apron, I thought that was great. I thought there was minimum room for error. Like anything could have happened, and all three women did a great job staying in their place and executing their moves and actually making it look like, oh, who's gonna win this? That spot at the end, that was a creative finish. I like finishes like that. Much better than the whole John Cena, oh, I guess I'm gonna jump off, or the one where the superstar is running and then the person just holds down the ropes and this was a creative way to end the Royal Rumble. So I will give them that. Whoever produced that ending, that finish was great.
There you go. Next match on the card was the one we discussed a handful on FTSN Extra on Real Talk Wrestling with Chris Koffler, the El Ginger Americano, and Josh Kimmel. Clutch was not there. What happened?
I forgot about that spot. We'll get to the men's rumble. Oh my gosh. One of the biggest flops of all time.
Oh,
one of the biggest flops of all time.
We'll get to the men's rumble. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So we get into Gunther versus AJ Styles. AJ Styles is quote unquote career on the line. We debated yesterday where we think or how we think that's actually, is he actually going to retire? Is he not? We're going to get into that right when we're done, but let's just talk about the match itself. I went first. I'm going to let you go so I don't, it doesn't look like, because, where do you stand on the match itself between these two? Because, obviously AJ Styles is one of the greats. Gunther is up there. I mean, that sequence in the Rumble that he had, selling the leg, but also having that run in back and forth with Evans, and I thought that was really good. Gunther is one of the, dude's a stud, man. And him and AJ Styles together was like, holy crap. But what were your thoughts on the match in itself, and then just the finish? How it played out?
I'm gonna give my match thoughts alone, and then I'll give my personal feelings.
Okay.
The match alone was good. Gunther is a professional. He's one of the best in the world. AJ Styles is still one of the best in the world. So wherever he's going to go, he's going to flash and no one's going to watch. And it's unfortunate. So let's get back to the straight up match. There was times where I thought AJ Styles was going to win this match. There were times where I thought he should have won this match. I don't like how it ended, but I can't, Bobby. I can't talk good about this match because I'm so mad. Like
you're mad at the finish. You're mad at the finish.
I'm mad at two things. If I wasn't doing this show, I would have turned the show off. Like that's how upset I was. I was very it felt like one of my favorite sports teams lost. It felt like I felt like it felt like the Lightning just lost in the Stanley Cup final to the Colorado Avalanche. It felt like one of my favorite boxers got knocked out. I felt it's been a long time since I felt this way at a professional wrestling match. And a lot of it has to do with Ciampa. Now, what does Ciampa have to do with this?
Yeah.
A lot of this has to do with Adam Copeland, Edge. What does Edge have to do with this? Is this AJ Styles' decision? or are they just not extending him, or did they just not come to a contract agreement? Ed, when Adam Copeland said in that tweet, that video, that he has a contract in his email, like he could sign with WWE, but they're just choosing not to use him, or they don't have anything for him. Are they giving AJ Styles the same treatment? We saw this with R-Truth. We see this with the older wrestlers. They just let walk. We see this with Karrion Kross. They just let guys go. Did the front office tell AJ Styles, we got nothing for you? Like, if that's the case, screw you. Honestly, screw you. Now, I watched a bunch of interviews with Ciampa. I say a bunch. I watched 2. And he's stoked, of course, right? He's excited, and he's like, "Oh, they haven't seen the Psycho Killer in so long. I haven't been peak Ciampa since 2018. I've been dreaming of AEW for 3 years now. I couldn't wait to get out. Yada yada yada. This is the professional wrestling I like. I like the backyard stuff. I like the underground stuff. If this is AJ Styles' decision, and he's okay with not being in the WWE, and he's okay with wrestling in AEW, just like Ciampa is, just like all these other, like Ricochet, then good for you, AJ. But if this is because WWE doesn't have anything for you, then screw you. Honestly, he's better than half the guys you got out there. He's better than Jey Uso. He's better than Jimmy. You know what I mean? Like, he's better than almost half of your roster. And if you can't find something for him, then you're creatively bankrupt. Again, if this was AJ's decision, I have no problem with it. I'll never know. I'm just speaking as a fan, because they didn't have anything for Adam Copeland. They didn't have anything for Ciampa. They didn't have anything for Ricochet. They didn't have anything for Karrion Kross. And these were all guys we wanted to be on the show. We loved them. We wanted them, but WWE didn't see it in them. So if you're missing something with AJ Styles, guys, relook. I hope that they find a way to get him back, but I don't think it's possible now. So that's my final thoughts. Good match. I'm glad that if he went out on his own way, I'm glad. But man, I hope we don't hear down the line that, sorry, bro, we just don't have anything for you creatively, because that's a sack of shit.
You had a great point up until you mentioned Ciampa and Ricochet. Because it's like, when I'll say, like, who, guys were great in NXT. What were they in WWE? They couldn't, buy a crowd. They could buy internet guys all they want, can't buy a crowd. In the same breath, sorry. I was trying to be nice. Mini Triple H. Yeah. First off, just the match itself was good. It was a good match. It was a fun match. These two are the best at what they do. AJ Styles, even though he is a veteran, he's still one of the best in the ring. I said this yesterday. I picked Gunther to win because it was the right decision, retirement match or not, quote unquote retirement, and end of WWE career. Because Gunther, everybody talks about, oh, give the young guys a chance, put the young guys over. You just brought, you said Adam Copeland. They didn't have nothing for Adam Copeland, the senior citizen who, is like, what are we talking about? They gave the younger guys a chance. The younger generation went up, and there's no available spots. They put Gunther over. You saw that run. You saw what he did at the Rumble. You saw what they were doing, what they're possibly going to do. He was in the final 2. That's their guy right now, besides Roman, and we'll get into it. It was the right decision, and this was an AJ decision. Whether it really is like, I was going to leave because they didn't really do much with me and blah, 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 blah. No, he's talked about being a family man. He's talked about taking it kind of easy before and whatever. And as Justin put in the comments there, the post that Nakamura made on Instagram that AJ told them, I'm going to end it at the Rumble, which was about a year ago. And they took that post down. But this was a plan all along. And it was the right decision. Again, just like John Cena putting Gunther over, AJ put Gunther over. There were moments where you legitimately felt AJ was going to win that match. You felt that. And then Gunther took it from you, just like he did with John Cena. You thought John Cena was going to continue? No, he didn't. Couldn't. John Cena tapped. AJ didn't, though. John Cena put his shoes down. AJ did not take his gloves off. He took his gloves off, put them back on. He struggled to show emotion. He told a story after the match. He didn't want to leave. John Cena did. This is all part of a story. This is a bigger story. Do I think we've seen the last of AJ Styles in WWE? Yes. Do I think we may get him one more time somewhere down the line? Yes. But maybe that's what we remember a couple of months ago. We talked about the TNA championship. Instead of it, remember I said Dom could be in that run, whatever, something like that. What if it's AJ going for the TNA or defending the TNA title at WrestleMania? I think he's going to TNA. He's not going to AEW. He's not going to AEW. I highly freaking doubt he's going to AEW. He's going to go to TNA. He's going to wrap up his, just like he finished his WWE career. He started it at Royal Rumble. He ended it at Royal Rumble. He started his big time run in TNA. He's going to finish in TNA. Yeah, I don't want to see him in AEW. For what? Oh, I want to see him against Ospreay and Ricochet and Kyle Fletcher and the broom and the mop and the janitor and this guy. Get the hell out of here. Nobody cares to see the same hit, smack. No. We want to see him where he started. We want to see him, the face that made the place, which was TNA. He made TNA. He's going to finish in TNA. This was the perfect thing. It had nothing to do with he didn't have nothing. Of course he didn't have nothing. His thing had ended. He didn't have the spot. It belonged to Roman Reigns. It belonged to Cody Rhodes. He wasn't going to be up in there. It still belongs to those guys. So it was natural. He was going to retire. He's not going to retire old like everybody else. He's going to step away from WWE young, and he's probably going to finish his last run with TNA, and then he'll step away. And then he'll enjoy his life with his family. So I'm just going to tell you, man, chill. This was the right move. This was the right decision.
You guys, like, I respect Justin and yourself and everyone in the chat. I really do. Even the new viewers all around the world. I really do respect everyone's comments and opinions. If you guys really do think he's going back to TNA, you guys are.
You say it. You want to say? I'll let you. You were gonna say dumb. You were gonna say dumb. You heel.
Delusional. Delusional.
Yeah.
I was gonna say delusional.
I heard the D word.
Delusional.
Yeah.
Delusional. Listen, guys. If we're here, like, there's no more like if he loses, if he's done with WWE, we're here. Would I like, again, I mentioned this on Real Talk Wrestling last night. Do I want to see AJ Styles versus a Moose? Or do I just want to go ahead and, you know what, if it's going to happen, like I was against Cody going to WWE because I was, newsflash to the new viewers, I was an AEW mark. I was a sicko. I loved it. I used to love it. So I was totally against Cody going to WWE. It happened. And it just happened, and now we're here. If AJ Styles is wrestling somewhere else, I would prefer AEW. You're going to get a larger viewership, and you're going to have better matches. I would, listen, if we don't see AJ Styles until Forbidden Door, and it's Will Ospreay, I'm buying that effing pay-per-view. And I have not bought an AEW pay-per-view since, I believe, the last All-In. Not even this All-In in Texas, the one before that, because I've quit on the product. But if AJ Styles is coming to Forbidden Door and wrestling someone like a Will Ospreay, I'm buying that pay-per-view. I am. And so are a lot of people. If he's going to TNA to wrestle a Moose, I'm not buying that pay-per-view. Period. I'm not. If he's going to go over there and wrestle AJ Francis, I'm not. If he's going over there to wrestle Frankie Kazarian, I'm not. But I will for Kyle Fletcher. I will for Will Ospreay. I will for Takeshita. I will for Did I say Kyle Fletcher already? I already said Kyle Fletcher. I will for Kenny Omega. I will for all of those. I won't for any, not for one. I will for Joe. Dude, Joe, are you telling me if Joe's out there talking all this S and all of a sudden AJ Styles comes out and we get Joe and AJ Styles face to face, you're telling me you wouldn't tune in, Bobby? You're delusional.
I would tune in on Twitter when it pops up on my screen, and I'll watch that one clip, and I ain't gonna watch anything else from AEW. Just like no one else was gonna watch anything from TNA except for when AJ Styles come back. You're making way too big a thing of it. You know damn well you're not gonna pay $80 to watch a pay-per-view because AJ Styles ends up signing with AEW because of one match. You know damn well that's not true. You've been saying that for I don't know how many times since we've been doing this show. I'm gonna buy that pay-per-view if that happens. If Mercedes Moné go there, I'm gonna do it, and I haven't done it in 3 years because the product is dead. The product is dead. They do it. And you still haven't bought it. So let's be real here. Yes, I would. You damn right. If Samoa Joe and AJ Styles was in the same ring together, I'm going to be watching that. I'm going to tune into it. But you know, I'm going to tune in right here. Oh, that's pretty fucking. That's cool. That's cool. Buy $75. Next payment. Nah, I'm good. I'll wait. I'll wait for it online. That's what I'm going to do. just like everybody else will. You know, oh, Kenny Omega and AJ? Okay. Yeah, that one time. Yeah, no, I'm good. But, you know, wow, the return of the in-ring return of AJ Styles and TNA, that's pretty damn cool. Damn. With the TNA title, he won it again. He's defending it at WrestleMania. What's bigger? TNA championship at WrestleMania or AJ on some random AEW PLE? Come on. Bobby's cheap. Yeah, true. True. I could get it for free and I still won't watch it.
How about this?
He will get banger matches, but
let's actually think about like you don't think AJ Styles
Go ahead.
You don't think like an AJ Styles versus MJF match, like before MJF jumps to WWE, like we need to see that match. We need to see that program. There's more opportunities in AEW for an AJ Styles. Let's be realistic here.
Okay, well, let's ask this though. That's fair. MJF versus AJ Styles. Awesome. AJ Styles, Ospreay. Dream match, right? Those are dream matches, no doubt. No doubt. But I don't know, man. I don't think AJ gives a crap about that. I think he wants I think he wants to finish his run. That's why you think when he was on TNA television the first night when they were on the cable, when he looked down at the TNA title, just glimpsed at it and everybody went crazy. You think that was just for S and giggles? That was done for a reason. And he knew he was going to step away at the Royal Rumble. He knew what the finish was already. Why the hell would he do that if he knew what the finish was? There's no story there if was not intended. Read between the lines, my brother. Get out of fantasy land, okay? Wake up into reality here. And the bigger reality thing is him going to TNA. It makes the most sense, not AEW. Yeah. Why?
Can't wait.
Unless he was going to be there multiple years. I don't see it. There was a reason why he took a look at the TNA title. There was a reason for that. I agree. Wait. I'd love to see Samoa Joe and AJ Styles one more time. I'm a TNA mark from the olden days. Love TNA back in the day. And maybe that's why I'm begging the table for it to come back, for an OG to go back there. But I think it is more realistic. As much as those matches would be fun and would be good, TNA, AJ Styles make more sense than AJ going over to AEW.
Listen, next year, when it's the winter time again, and we're in November area, December area, and the Continental Classic is kicking off, we got AJ Styles in the gold block. We got Takeshita in the green block. We got Jon Moxley in the yellow block. We got Okada. Listen, this is gonna shift into an AEW show eventually, guys, because I'm getting hyped again. Ciampa has gotten me, like, honestly, I'm a big Ciampa fan, and that's why I've been watching his videos and his interviews. And this might be the beginning of the game changer. I don't know if you heard, they did 600,000 in the views and the ratings over there on Wednesday night because of Psycho Killer Tommaso Ciampa. If AJ Styles go over there, I said this with Mercedes, and I was wrong. I said if Mercedes signs with AEW, they'll be pulling $1 million views a week. Never happened. If AJ Styles heads over to AEW, million views a week. Dude, you're looking at AJ Styles versus Swerve. We're looking at Hanger. We're looking at, like I said, Fletcher. We're looking at Moxley. We're looking at Claudio. Dude, I'm actually, okay, you know what? Thank you, Gunther. I can't wait for these banger matches. I can't wait for these 5.5-star matches. Can't wait for it. I'm trying to talk myself into euphoria.
Yeah, I know what you're trying to do.
Next match.
Yeah, let's talk about I have so much more to say too, but I'm going to be good. I'm going to lay off, but all right. I really don't want to though, but I really do. Yeah. I have so much to say, brother.
I mean, hey, you think AJ Styles versus Santino, fucking sorry. Sorry, Bobby. You think those things are going to be like, who's going to watch that on Thursday night? Literally nobody.
You're thinking like AJ's going to come. First off, you just said it yourself. You said the same thing about Mercedes Moné, and not even you tune in every week or tune into every PLE. You said the same thing. You just said it. I wasn't going to say that. I was going to keep my mouth shut. I'm trying to be, I don't know if I'm the baby face or the heel here. I'm okay being the heel. I could give a crap. I'll say it. I don't give a shit. All right. And it's my show, brother. I run it to say, so I'll say all I want. No, but the fact is, you've said this before. One person, it's a bigger thing in an AEW. if you want to say the one guy going to AEW, like the argument would be, in my opinion, AJ Styles going to AEW, you're gonna have the more memorable matches, the more memorable feuds. If you just do 1 year, but you got to go here. But no one's going to stick around and watch one show. Oh, wow. Tyson Ciampa did 600,000 views. All right, well, let me know in a month or a couple weeks where they're at. You know, they always do. Oh, that one. It was like TNA back in the day when they started just bringing everybody in and their mother. Every time WWE cut somebody, oh my gosh, it's, you know, they cut whatever. Here comes this guy, you know, and oh, everybody, oh, wow. And then they're done. That's what AEW does. So, yeah, could AEW do that again? Sure. Will it get a pop? Sure. Will it last? No. And I don't think that's what, you know, if AJ Styles wants to do great matches or have those members, sure. Why not? Go to AEW. I'm sure they'll work to your schedule, but is it going to save AEW millions of views every week? No. Come on, let's be real. Ciampa's not going to do it. Come on. You know, he'll just be like Ricochet, you know, pop up here. Oh, and then he's gone. You know, he'll be in the background somewhere. You know, we'll see. He's not going to take MJF's spot. Let's be real. You know, but again, to me, the most memorable thing, the thing that I would love to see again is if the OG goes to TNA. That would be bigger for professional wrestling. That would be bigger for TNA, not AEW. He just becomes a little fish in a big pond in AEW. In TNA, he is the fish. He's the shark. Moving on. McIntyre, Sami Zayn. Talk to me about it. What do you think about this match and the finish?
The story of the match was Sammy, like every other Sami Zayn match, he gets his ass handed to him and he barely kicks out of everything. And then you think he has a hope spot at the end and he's going to win and he loses. Same old Washington repeat with Sami Zayn. It's getting kind of tiring watching him come in second place a lot, but it was getting tiring seeing Drew McIntyre come in second place. So I thought this matchup was irresponsible to put here because neither could afford a loss, but it turned out to be a good match. I do think one day Sami Zayn will be the champion and we can go back to this era, this match right here, and especially his Roman match and reference that when he finally gets over. This was the right call, of course. You can't have Drew win the match or Drew win the title, then lose it right away. He needs to have it to go into WrestleMania. They're building that story. I called it on Real Talk Wrestling last night that it's going to be some kind of fatal four-way match for the title. I think Sammy will be involved. I think it's official. I think it's going to be Fat 2, which he looks really good in shape right now. Sami Zayn, Drew McIntyre, and Cody Rhodes. I think it's a fatal four-way match. If they don't go Orton and Cody, which I want, but we'll get to the Rumble. We'll get to all that later. This match in particular, paint by numbers, exactly what we thought it was going to be. Good match, sure. But at the end of the day, we were watching a rerun. We were watching the most predictable match on the card. But that's okay. Predictable's okay. They put on a good show. The fans were into it. Drew's mega awesome. Sammy's mega over no matter what. He can afford a loss. It's just one of the most... When matches are predictable, Bobby, they're not as fun, right? And that's what this match was.
Yeah. You know, I think you had Drew winning yesterday when we talked. I had Sammy winning because they were in Saudi, because, you know, Drew seems like, I don't think really Drew gives a damn. I think Drew is happy being the champion, but also happy doing the job, doing the business. I thought it was a good match. It was a physical match. The guys did really well telling the story in the ring. It was physical. I thought, just like I did with Roman, but this one more, I think this would have been a good, because it's in Saudi, the moment, the crowd, the reaction, you saw the crowd's reaction when he lost. It would have been a good moment. But I'm not angry that Sammy didn't win. Drew McIntyre is great. And you might be right on the money. Yesterday you said triple threat. Now you say fatal four, possibly with Sammy in there. But there was that spot in the Rumble with Cody and then Fatu, with Drew. We'll get into it. But that could be the case. I hope it's not. I don't know how interested I am in that match, if that is the match. There's other matches I'd like to see. Maybe if there's the Elimination Chamber still in between these two shows, I hope we get to see that story finish there. But Sami is built like a computer programmer. Sami looks like a substitute teacher on SmackDown. I can't wait for WWE to release him and everyone to argue, is he going to AEW? Jesus. DSG just doesn't let it go, bro. But no, I would have had, I think it would have been good for AJ to win, or not AJ, excuse me, for Sami to win. Because of the situation. This is his second title match. It seemed like it would have been a perfect moment. You know, you could have had him drop it again or whatever. But I'm not mad at it. I agree with you on this. I don't think this was a good spot for them because neither one could afford to lose. But Sami had to take the L. So I agree there. That's why I'm kind of indifferent with the result. I don't hate it. I don't love it either. I'm indifferent. It was a good match though.
Yeah. I mean,
you know me,
honestly,
I hate obvious things. So you said it's obvious, you know, it was easy to kind of figure out what was going to happen. And I hate that. I like surprises. I like when things go, whoa, you know, and this one was not it. So,
and let's be honest, we're 45 minutes to the stream and nobody really wants to talk about this. So, because it was obvious, but the Rumble, we're going to have a lot to say about the Rumble. So let's fast forward to that because we started off, Bobby. You know, if you had follow-up questions, I apologize.
No,
Did
good.
you? Okay.
No, go right ahead.
Because we got a curveball right off the bat, and I don't think there's not one single soul that can go online or that can jump in the chat and say, I knew this was coming, because you didn't. When you saw Obafemi come out and you knew Braun Breaker was second, I was thinking, how are they going to do this? These are two megastars that can't look weak in front of a crowd. They can't look weak. So this is going to be a situation where they just stare at each other for 90 seconds, like Brock and Oba did for in the middle of the match. They just stare at each other for 5 minutes. I'm glad they did what they did. It works for the story. I didn't think Braun Breaker was going to win. If you didn't watch Real Talk Wrestling last night, I picked Roman. I forgot who you picked.
You did pick Roman. I picked Gunther. So
Gunther,
our final two were right, but yeah. but go ahead.
But this is perfect because it gets Braun Breaker out of the title run, which he should have been, which he was, because CM Punk already beat him. They're having this whole angle with Adam Pearce. He needed to get away from the title picture, and this is the best way to do it. Now we have the question of who is the masked man, who was the hooded man. I'm already seeing reports that it was Adam Pearce himself. Could have been Rollins. Now we have a whole different story coming out of this from Braun Breaker. And instead of him going in there, lasting 30 minutes, having some good spots, throwing people over, we know he can do that. We've seen that. We've seen him spear people, super spear people. We've seen him throw. We've seen his aggression. We don't need him to get over. This was for Obafemi to get over. So this was good for Braun Breaker's story. So if you're upset about Braun Breaker not getting his chance in the Rumble, he doesn't need it. Obafemi needed it, and that's who fed off of this. Obafemi stole the first half of the show, or this Rumble match, and now we're all thinking, while we're watching Obafemi dominate everybody, we're thinking, who was that? That didn't look like Seth. That didn't look like Seth at all.
Not at all. I said the same thing. You know, Paul Heyman saying, it's Seth Rollins. It was Seth Rollins. They're trying to sell you that it's Seth Rollins. And it's not. I mean, didn't have his build, didn't have even the stomp was not Seth Rollins. So I did like that they did this. I like unpredictability, you know, that's unpredictable. You know, I like that. It's because we were it was Austin Theory last time. Now wait a second, there's another one. Who's this one? Oh, it has to be Seth. It doesn't move like Seth. He ain't built like Seth. You know, I love the idea of Alec Pierce. That would be very interesting. So it leaves a mystery going into WrestleMania. Who is the mystery man? Who is it? You know, and it doesn't have to do with Seth Rollins. Does Seth Rollins appear and he has a whole new group? Is Austin Theory a mole? You know, is he a two-face? You know, a double agent for Rollins? It's gonna be very interesting. I did enjoy that. I did like Obafemi, his role in the Rumble. They made him look strong again. They sold it pretty well. But you're right. The first half, at least, the first few entrants, we were all asking, who was that guy? Who was the mystery man? It was Montez Ford. Also push Montez.
Can I I need to ask, or I need to comment on Justin's comment.
Yeah.
There he goes. Here's this one right here. Love the shocker of Braun getting taken out like that. I appreciate trying to be unpredictable. Yes. Because if you would have had him in the Rumble, if you would have had Braun Breaker in the Rumble and the Mystery Man come in and then do what he did and eliminate Braun Breaker that way, we already had that. We had Drew McIntyre do that to Cody. So you can't have two things happen in the same match. When I was watching the Rumble, and Javon Evans in particular, because I know he's new on the scene, and if you didn't watch NXT, he's new to you. He's new to me. I've been watching him for months now on regular TV on the main rosters. And he stood out to me in this Rumble because, oh yeah, there's nobody else like him on the roster. That's what makes him special. No one could do what he does. That's why he's special. Again, if you had Braun Breaker in there with Obafemi, they're the same kind of character. Dominant. They're going to dominate. They're unstoppable. That's why I think they did that. And plus, they didn't want to have the double elimination. Like, who's the Mystery Man eliminating him? Drew McIntyre eliminated him. Like, that's 2 in 1 match. You couldn't have had that. So this was perfect because it happened kind of before the match, kind of. Another bright spot of the entire Royal Rumble was, I guess this has to go with the entire show. There's a big debate online and people are bragging. AEW faithfuls are coming out. No one's at the show. The crowd looks dead. There's a bunch of empty chairs. I was trying to analyze the crowd the entire show. Half the shots looked like there was nobody in the crowd. Half the shots looked like they were packed. When Jey Uso came out and did his thing, you notice how they only filmed him from behind because they didn't want to film what was above him. I'm curious to see how many people were actually there because they never film him that way. They like to get the whole crowd doing it with him, but they film from his back to the ring. Did you notice that? I don't think it was as packed as people think, or as the pictures online or whatever. But that being said, bright spot, Jey Uso, mega over. I still enjoy him. I didn't understand the spot with Roman when Roman just beat him up and then Jey just kind of forgot about it and they teamed up together. That was kind of ridiculous. But I did like that Jey Uso got to spear Roman Reigns. I like Roman Reigns' participation in this. I like that he's a bad guy and a good guy at the same time. You called this forever ago. You said anti-hero. This is who he is. The stare-offs with Cody Rhodes was great. The stare-offs with other superstars with Roman was great. The ending with Gunther and Roman was what we needed because I don't think they had a singles match yet. So that was, again, great. I'm going to take back everything I said. I like this Royal Rumble match. Like, as you start thinking, like it's been an hour, it's been a couple hours, and you're like, you start thinking about all the spots. You start thinking about Obafemi and how over he was. You think about Brock Lesnar and him coming out and having fun, taunting Obafemi, suplexing everybody. You think about LA Knight and the massive pop he got. Man, I'm starting to turn around on this Rumble, and I don't know what's going on. Let me stop talking. You go ahead. I don't want to go full mark on this.
So, again, the Rumble's meant to be fun, and this was fun. I said I had one major complaint. And for at least for me, it felt the one complaint I have, and it's maybe for the whole show, but more of the men's Rumble, and I mentioned it here, was it felt rushed. There was some spot, it felt like it was going very fast. You know, there wasn't time to digest moments. You know, it felt like, oh, here comes the next guy. Here comes the next guy. Oh, whoa, here comes the next guy. And it's like, you know, the Jey Uso entrance. You know, mega over. There was a lot of over moments. I mean, you could hate on anybody all you want. You could hate Jey Uso. You could hate Brock Lesnar for whatever your reasons are. And a lot, very fair, right? Whatever. You can't deny the pop these guys get. You know, the moments. I laughed out loud literally when I saw Paul Heyman coming out with Brock. When you see Roman Reigns coming out, I would have loved the moment if you would have saw Brock walking up the ramp with Paul, and as soon as Roman's coming down this way, you just see Paul turn around and kind of like walk with Roman out. I would have loved if that happened. And Roman go, what the hell are you doing? I really would have loved that. But the Brock spot, you know, when he gets eliminated, that was one that I felt like that should have been a bigger moment. That was LA Knight and Cody going after Brock. It was an afterthought. You didn't see it. It was like blink your eyes. There were some spots that I felt was rushed. You know, especially after how they built Brock in that match. I mean, like you said, he looked like he was having fun. I mean, he was tossing everybody, and he was going, that little awkward stare down with Obafemi, which everybody wanted to see, but you just never got, which is great. It's fair because we could see it down the line. We didn't get the Gunther Brock Lesnar spot, so maybe that's not the plan for WrestleMania. Maybe it is Obafemi and Brock. Even though I think Oba should have been the one who eliminated Brock. Why LA Knight and Cody Rhodes? I have no clue. I don't know. To me, those moments are ones you do it to build up a story. So that was a critique of mine. The whole, again, and I love Jay, everybody knows that, but again, the whole, there's gonna be, I'm a freaking heel, brother. If I see you on the damn thing doing your yeet, I'm gonna run up from behind and throw your ass out. Screw the fans, screw you, go home and cry. To me, that's a critique. I'm going to play Josh right now. I'm critiquing the match. That's a critique. All right. Let me see. Where am I? Rewind here. Now I'm losing my train of thought. Jey Uso messed me up. Shit.
It's okay. I can fill some while you.
Thank you.
I got more critiques. I got more critiques and more comments on this match.
Thank you. That right there. What the hell are you doing, Cody? You dumbass. What are you doing? Fatu's coming out. What are you doing? Like, hold on a minute, guys. Dive, smacked in the face. Like, you're supposed to be one of the smart ones. Like, what are we doing? There were things like that. That's the thing. I think that's fair. Again, fun match, enjoyable match, great moments, but a lot of sloppy moments. It felt rushed. It felt like some spots were rushed, and but there are guys that came out looking good. Again, Brock looked like $1 million. It's true. I think Michael Cole said it. How does every time this guy shows up, he looks bigger? He's imposing. There was a spot with Dragunov where he was smacking the hell out of Brock's chest. Yeah. I think that was legit. Brock screaming like, "All right, I'm gonna beat your ass," because Brock let him do it. But those were real chops.
Did you see the cool marks?
Yeah, I did right after.
Yeah.
And then Roman, he's still like. Roman could be gone for months. You don't have to see him on your TV. You could totally forget about him. But the moment he shows up in your screen, he's the main character. That's the thing. Like when he showed up, everybody knew. And I love the spot where he tells Jey Uso, like, "You want to do it again? Let's." And Jay's like, "Oh, really? Oh!" And I was like, "Bah!" Because I was like, that was great. That is the way it's supposed to be. They almost missed Brock getting taken out by Cody and Knight because of Jay's stupid long injury. Yeah, again, that to me was a total dud. I don't understand why they did that. One of the moments that stood out, we talked about this last night. Powerhouse Hobbs. You kind of talked about it a little bit earlier. His name comes up on the screen, but then it changes into Royce Keys, which I think I read that it has a significant meaning. But to him, like you said, there was no real pop for him at all. People at home knew who he was. Nobody knew who he was in Saudi. Saudi fans, they know WWE guys. They're going to pop for these guys, just like they popped for Brie and Nikki Bella, Brock Lesnar, and Roman. They were going nuts for all of them. Powerhouse Hobbs did not get it. It looked like he got popped from in the ring. The pops were in the ring when the guys were looking at him. And, I mean, they did sell him. They gave him a great spot. WWE did really well with him in regards of making him look really good and really strong. And in that moment with Cody and Powerhouse Hobbs, if you don't know, and I'm not an AEW guy, but I know these two where they're from, that moment where, Cody's standing down and Cody goes to do the whole, gold dust chop and catches him and just throws his hand. Like, I like that. It makes me go, holy crap. That's freaking, for people who don't know who Royce Keys is, you know who Cody is. And that guy just did that to Cody Rhodes. That guy must mean something. What was formerly, even though maybe it's a whole charade, maybe you're a double agent, but formerly a AEW mark. So who
Sicko.
Your former Sicko. But what did you think? I know you brought this up earlier with no crowd reaction, but to me that was more an AEW issue than it was a Powerhouse Hobbs issue. It's and yeah, we know who Cody was, right? And all this. But like if this was in the States, because that's where AEW's reach is right now, even though they've had matches overseas. If this was in the States, he would have had a reaction. But because this was overseas and this is WWE, that he didn't have that type of reaction. I think he will next time. I think he will eventually. What did you think of this? You said it was the wrong time from the show up. So we understand. I understand that you said it's the wrong time, but What did you think of how he did in the Rumble? Do you think he did himself justice? Do you think he showed that he belonged with the moments that he had? What do you think of his performance?
So this is just coming off of the Rumble ending about 2 hours ago or an hour and a half ago, however long it was. I remember the entrance. I remember him, the Powerhouse Hobbs being shown. Then, oh, this is Royce Keys. I'm thinking, then why'd they say his name? Were they just trying to stick it to Tony? Probably, because they didn't do that before. But I don't remember anything besides the Cody spot. And I'm going to be real with you. I don't remember anything but the Cody spot. I don't remember who he eliminated. I don't remember. And this is just because it was an hour and a half ago. But I just felt like I'm glad he's there. I think he's going to be great. He's over with the guys. He did better than I thought he would do. Because I don't think there's any training or any development in AEW. He hasn't really improved. Look at Jade Cargill. She's still the same wrestler. She's slightly improved. But that being said, they pulled the trigger. People saw him on a live stage. They got him. Like, that's the good thing, Bob, because they're having WrestleMania over there anyway. So maybe having him debut at the Rumble, getting him familiar with that crowd over there, whatever the case may be, I don't know. Like, you have to get these guys on TV eventually. I just wish they brought him in a different way. However that way was, I don't know. Maybe it's the next night on Raw. Maybe it's in a couple. I don't know when it is. But this, to me, wasn't like AJ Styles coming in out of nowhere. They debuted AJ Styles in the States, where TNA was a reach. I don't know the availability of AEW over there or in Saudi. I don't know. But I'll say this, so I'm happy for him. I'm happy he's there because I've been rooting for Powerhouse Hobbs since day one. He should have been multiple AEW champions. He should have been in the main event card. He should have been pushed to the roof. But they got clowns like Orange Cassidy and Daniel Garcia getting main event spots where Powerhouse Hobbs was somewhere in the mid card, up and down. Heck, Bobby, one of his storylines was he was in a stable, a top heel stable, the Don Callis family. He got hurt, went away for a while. His story was, oh, we forgot you worked here. No, you don't have to be in our stable anymore. You can go be a singles. That was a legit story. Justin, back me up. One of his storylines was, we forgot you worked here. Tell me how that's beneficial for Powerhouse Hobbs. But it is what it is. He's going to get treated over here, and he's going to become a star. So I'm excited. I love him. I wish they paired him with Ricky Stanks because I think they worked. They were together in AEW. But again, you can't do everything that happened over there because I'm still preaching that Lucha Bros need to be together, Penta and Rey Fenix. But they're probably not going to do it anytime soon.
Let me ask you, with the Men's Rumble, what was your before I get into high spot, unless the high spot is not the finish, what was your low spot? Like, what was the one that you're like, I don't like that?
Mr. Iguana.
Okay.
Nobody cared. But that being said, like, I don't care about Mr. Iguana. They obviously did not care about Mr. Iguana. They thought they didn't. It was a zero reaction. Like, it wasn't. No. It was just like I think everyone just looked at their phones when he came out.
I love La Parka. That was cool.
Parka was good. But let me complain about something real quick.
Okay.
El Grande Americano was mega over. Was at one point as Chad Gable mega over. They do the thing with Ludwig Kaiser where he's El Grande Americano and he's in the ring. There should have been you know how when El Ginger Americano was hot and over and it was Chad Gable, they did those little vignettes of him like in the olden days in AAA. They should have had a better entrance for him. He just came out to generic luchador music. And he came out as Chad Gable, like, as El Grande, but we all knew it was Chad Gable. Zero response, zero pop, zero anything. It made it like he's just a guy. But we forget how mega over he was as as El Grande Americano. I felt bad for Chad Gable. I really, really did. That was a bad spot for him to return because nobody cared. Literally nobody cared. And I felt bad for him. So I'm going to complain about that for a little bit. But another low spot for me, just low in general. If you want to talk about like the lowest of the low spots, you're right. Brock Lesnar. You already talked about it. We don't need to bury it into the ground, but when you eliminate Brock Lesnar, it needs to be a big deal. Like, it needs to be a big deal. He didn't even scream. He didn't bang the. I thought he was going to go.
I thought he was going after Jay.
I
thought he was going to go after Jay.
Yes, because Jay Uso didn't make it to the ring yet. So I'm like, oh, Jay's not even going to make it to this match. I thought Jay was going to be one of those participants that never made it to the match.
Yeah.
And I thought that was going to happen. And nothing happened. Nothing happened. So that was bad.
I like that. I agree with that. And again, like I said, the Rush thing, and that is my low point, was Lesnar. Because again, you can say whatever you want about him, and a lot of it's valid. But in regards of star power and what he means to WWE, you saw it right then. Not just national, but international star. I mean, you know, and that's why, like I said yesterday, he was one of my wild cards to win the match. You know, because of, first off, his star power within WWE, but also in Saudi Arabia. I could see it happening. Especially after they did the Braun Breaker thing, I believed it more than ever. When I saw Paul coming out with him, I'm like, and they were like, what's Paul going to do now? You know, all his guys are gone, and, you know, it's only Logan Paul. Who's he going to hitch his ride to? Here comes Brock. And again, typical Brock, $1 million. I mean, looks $1 million, had the whole thing, tossing Cody, tossing LA Knight, going after everybody. I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I can't wait for Roman to show up that moment. I can't wait for Gunther to come in. And you don't even, and you know, I'm thinking, like, if Brock gets eliminated, it's going to be a big moment. That's going to, maybe it's Gunther who eliminates Brock, or Roman eliminates Brock, and, you know, whatever. You don't even get it. They show Jey Uso coming out, which is, it's the Rumble, guy. Like, what are we doing? And I'm a Jey Uso. I love Jey Uso. What the hell are we doing coming up down from the crowd for? Get your ass in the ring. Like, there should be a time limit. You have 30 seconds to get in the damn ring. Like, I don't know. And again, doing the whole thing in the corner. Ooh, I wish somebody would have grabbed them and tossed his ass. That's realistic. It's the same thing I tell you. When the wrestlers are fighting and all of a sudden here come the cops and they start trying to jump on the guy and the wrestlers start punching the cops. I wish one day the cops would tase the shit out of them. I wish they beat him with the nightsticks. You know, that would be realistic. You hit a cop, you get tased. You know, if you're up in the corner, you're going to the Rumble, I'm going to toss you over it. I don't care about your feelings. I don't care what the IWC says. I'm going to toss you over. You know, but they didn't happen. And then it took the moment away from eliminating Brock. And why would LA Knight and Cody eliminate? That's right. That's the match itself. You got to eliminate the guy. But why did they partner up? Why did they target Brock? Why was it not a bigger moment? You made a big moment about him coming in. You made a big deal. The elimination wasn't big. So that was my low point. Let me ask you, what was your high point in the match? If it wasn't the finish, what was the high point?
The height Javon Evans got on every single bump. Like, Javon Evans was the best, man.
Fair.
He really sold. He can sell. I believe who like, no, that was a female. One of the females did like a massive Samoa drop. I forgot. It's been a long day. But the highest spot probably was Javon Evans. Like, I just enjoyed watching him wrestle. I enjoyed him in the ring in that environment with top stars. Of course, you know, that's the thing about the Royal Rumble that we don't appreciate. It's a time for top stars. I always go back to Maven and Taker, right? Maven tells that great story of how, you know, Taker let him do that and told him to do that and eliminate him and yada, yada, yada. Like, it's the one time where we get to see top stars associate with the developmental talent or the mid-carders, and those mid-carders can do something. And we go, oh, remember that time Maven eliminated Taker? Oh, remember that time? So I like seeing Javon Evans interacting with all the top stars. I told you something's going to happen with Cody and Randy. That's not going to go away. That's not going to go away. I don't know when that's going to happen.
I thought that was your moment. I thought that was going to be your high spot because you finally got to see a little bit of a tease there between those two.
But the problem is it's just a tease. That's it. Like, I need full.
I would have loved more if Cody would. I mean, if Randy would have purposely RKO'd Cody when he jumped off the rope to do the Cody cutter. I would love that was a RKO, because then that would have been a purposeful, not a, oh, I made a mistake. It was a, I did that to you, just like Liv did to Raquel. And now you have that whole back and forth. But of course, they had to have that moment with Drew McIntyre. He basically eliminates Cody, and you know, and it's like, okay, that story is obviously going to continue. But is that story worth it? Does that story? Are we interested in seeing Drew versus Cody at WrestleMania, or Drew versus Cody versus Fatu at WrestleMania?
Yeah,
You say
that's
yes,
the
right?
match. That's the
You
match. Listen, I told Real Talk Wrestling last night. I told you this, Bobby, and you said, "Well, I don't care if it's this." The main event was always going to be Roman and CM Punk. That's the biggest match you could have. That's the biggest match WWE can produce. So that was the match. I called it last night. It's going to happen. Roman is going to if you guys think Roman's going to challenge Drew McIntyre, you're crazy. It's not going to happen. This is set up for a triple threat match.
But that's a story. It's a
What's
story.
the story?
Drew and Roman.
Of course, it's a story. Yeah, of course it is.
It's a long-term building story. So
yeah, it's a story they dropped and didn't ever talk about again. It's a story they literally dropped and just forgot about it. I would love for him to pick it up.
Drew talked about it. Drew just talked about it.
When did Drew talk about it?
Right on the post show. He was talking about it. I just read up.
Okay,
on
Mark. Okay, Mark, you're watching the post show.
I just see it here popping up. He says, Drew McIntyre says without the bloodline, he would destroy Roman Reigns and dares him to pick him to face in the main event at WrestleMania 42. There's a big enemy of Drew McIntyre. There's a big enemy of Drew McIntyre. His bloodline made my life a living hell for so long. And so if he wants to pick Drew McIntyre, I know he's on his own now. And I will destroy Roman Reigns. Go for it, Roman. Pick me. Let's main event WrestleMania, and I will drop your arse. I will drop your arse.
Look, if that's the match, I'm okay with that. Like, if that's the match. But let's be real here. How long do we have Roman and how long do we have Punk? And how long do we have them together? That's the match. Like, that's the money match. That's your Sunday night main event. It's going to happen. And what's going to happen on who in the living, like, for example, Liv and Vaquer. They're not main event no night one. Let's be like all you Liv Marks out there. I'm one of them. All you Stephanie Marks. I'm one of them. They ain't main event no night two, night one. That's where Cody, Fatu, and Drew are gonna main event. It's writing itself. And if you don't see it, then you guys are in denial, which is okay. I'm in denial. I was in denial about AJ Styles retiring from WWE. Like I still am. Like it's okay to be in denial. But if you truly think that that's not the match, then buckle up, man. Like that's the match. How do we get there? I don't know. Because we still have the Elimination Chamber. Do we have Fatu win that and Cody somehow get into it? Or do we just go Fatu and Drew and then we get Cody and Randy? Because Randy has nothing to do.
How did you like the final four? It was Logan Paul. I think this is his third or second. I don't know. Two
I don't
or
know
three
why
times.
they keep.
He's the
Why
final
do
four.
put him there?
I don't know, but it was Logan Paul, Gunther, Roman, and who was the other one? Randy, right? Randy Orton was the final.
Yeah, Randy. Yeah.
What do you think of the final four? Because I like to leave it where it's like you don't know who's going to do it. Like obviously with Gunther and Roman, I was like, these are the guys we talked about, and I love how they did it. If we're just talking about those two right there, I like how they did it, where it's kind of like, wait a second, is he about to put Roman to sleep? Roman escapes, he puts it again. It's kind of like this guy it's relentless. It's ridiculous. It's what the hell? Fight it. And we know how it wraps up. We'll get to it. But the final four, again, I would have loved if it was four guys like Gunther and Roman were the right choice.
Mm-hmm.
Logan and Randy, not so much, because again, I didn't see Randy winning it. I don't see Logan winning it. Again, it would have been a curveball if Logan would have won the Rumble, but it's like I would rather have again, maybe Cody and Brock in there, or LA Knight and Cody, because then wait a second, LA Knight comes in, he's a surprise. Can he actually pull this off? I think that would have been better than those four. So I know this is nitpicking. I'm cool with it. But I'm going to ask you, were you satisfied with the final four, or would you have had another final four besides the two guys who were the final two?
When you look back at history, because I'm a big history guy lately, like especially because the Super Bowl this year sucks. Like there's no history there. There's no rivalry. There's just like whatever. I like seeing like Mahomes versus Hurts, right? I like seeing Jordan versus the Pistons. I like when we go back and talk sports, we talk about legacy.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay to have Randy there because you go back and go, wow, it's Randy Orton. He's a Hall of Famer. He's a legend. If you would have thrown in some jabroni like LA Knight, who may never win the championship, you're like, oh yeah, I remember that guy. Like in 20 years from now, when someone else is doing a podcast and they're reviewing the 2026 Rumble, oh, I forgot LA Knight was in that spot. Like that's kind of weird. But if you go Randy, oh yeah, that was a banger match because Randy was there. So I understand why they do it, especially in Saudi Arabia where they want the superstars there. So I'm okay with that. Logan Paul, though, I don't get. If you're gonna eliminate everyone, I'd rather Bronson Reed be in that spot.
Mm-hmm.
He makes more sense because he has Roman there. And last time we saw Bronson and Reed and Roman, like they had problems with each other. That would have been better for me. But they chose Logan Paul. He was the person that bugged me the most. Other than that, though, I'm okay with it. Like, as soon as Brock got eliminated, I knew, okay, Roman's winning the match. Like, to me, it was either Brock or Roman. Because I could have saw Brock and CM Punk or Roman and CM Punk. Those were the two money matches. Because like, think about the Drew McIntyre side. Gunther wins. Is Gunther going to face CM Punk again? We saw it. Been there, done that. Gunther versus Drew McIntyre doesn't make sense. Nothing makes sense over there. So I knew Gunther wasn't winning. It wouldn't make sense. Now, if Randy Orton won, Bobby, there could have been a chance where maybe Randy Orton does face Cody Rhodes if Cody gets some kind of rematch at the Chamber or whatever, or somewhere in between now and WrestleMania. So that could have kind of made sense. Randy Orton has the title shot. Cody wins his title back. That could have made sense. But I never saw a world where Gunther or Logan Paul could have won. I saw where Randy or Roman could have won. So I guess it is nitpicking by you. You're turning into Josh. Congratulations. Congratulations.
Let me see here. I want to see if anything has popped up.
Oh, as far as like press conferences go?
Yeah. If there's any kind of news that's come out. The one we talked about. I want to say Sam Roberts again. It's not Sam Roberts.
Peter
Rosenberg. Peter, he had said that even though AJ Styles went back into the ring and had that back and forth, that he talked to AJ and AJ is saying no, he doesn't go back on his word. This is his final thing. Again, we'll see it to believe it. I know what people want. You want AEW. I talked about a final run at TNA, but AJ does seem like a guy who would probably say, again, phenomenal shape, no pun intended. Being the phenomenal one, maybe he does want to go out on his terms, kind of like John Cena, but all fine, and it puts over Gunther. Like you said too, the bigger match would be, now we're on the road to WrestleMania here, and Roman Reigns wins the match, which is cool, which is great. People might go, oh man, we know I need another guy to win. I said Gunther. Gunther should have won, or first off, I totally missed it. I want to bring up when you're bringing about Evans, Trick Williams. Talk about, look, Powerhouse Hobbs did not get that reaction. Trick Williams did. He got a pop, and that would, and that's really cool. I thought that was really neat, and he did well for himself, and he's been having a good run so far since he got called up to the main roster. But you talk about some of these other guys could have gone any other way. Cody winning his third Rumble, they kept teasing it. Brock winning his third Rumble, all you could have done a bunch of ways, but they go Roman again. And it's kind of ironic that Roman wins again. And Roman on ESPN, I believe it was ESPN, or was it Pat McAfee? That's ESPN. He was saying, he's like, ever since I left, paraphrase, I don't have it in front of me, but he was like, WWE has failed creatively. They've been stagnant. They asked me to come back. They have to save them. And I'm back. And I'm going to save them. They asked me, I'm going to take over. And first off, you can't say he is burying anybody, because again, when you bury somebody, that's when nobody really wants you. The crowd wanted him. When he came out, the crowd popped. The audience popped. And in the ring, and even the IWC, everybody was watching, we're going nuts. And he looked the part. And they are rolling with him to go into WrestleMania in the main event. His next, I don't know how many main events of WrestleMania he has, but he's up there. He has to have, he made close to, I don't know how many, I don't think Austin main event, his career was so short, but Hogan main evented a lot of WrestleManias. I'd love to know where Roman Reigns stands, because he's about to main event his next, and he's up there. He may be number one. So you picked Roman to win. You believe it will be Punk and Roman at WrestleMania for the World Championship, which we discussed. Remember, this is crazy because not too long ago we were talking about the world championship being that stepping stool title. How can you make it legitimate? You put it on CM Punk. Now, are you kidding? If the main event, the two main events for the world title, the men's world championship and undisputed title, if it's Punk and Reigns, and then the next one is Fatu, Cody, and Drew, the World Heavyweight Championship should be defended on night 2. Roman and Punk should main event the main show. The first night should be the undisputed title is going to take a back seat, which is crazy compared to where it was before. And that's why I'm not sleeping on this. I'm going to tell you this. I'm not sleeping on the Elimination Chamber if that title changes hands. I'm just saying that. I would not sleep on that possibly happening. If Drew holds the title until WrestleMania, great. If it's Fatu and Cody and Drew main eventing the triple threat, another triple threat, but for the okay, fine. But I think that title could change, and that match could change before WrestleMania. But Punk and Roman, yeah, there's a story there. There's a story there. And if those are the two matches, then absolutely, because if it's Liv and Stephanie, should Liv and Stephanie recur be right? That's my thing. There is, if it was a triple threat, or if it was, Rhea versus Liv, that's a big match. That could main event WrestleMania. Charlotte and Rhea, that could main event. The triple threat again. You think, was it Stephanie, Rhea, and Io, or Io, Rhea, and whoever? That could main event. But Stephanie, Liv, I don't think it main event at WrestleMania. It may start the card. You could call it a main event. I don't think it will. So either way, Roman. Where do you stand, Roman Reigns being again the main attraction? He's going into WrestleMania as the number one contender. He's in a main event another WrestleMania. Let's pretend that CM Punk is still the champion by then, which more than likely will. Let's say he does pick CM Punk. Let's say Roman wins the world championship at WrestleMania and he starts the new season as the world champion. I know it's jumping ahead, but where do you stand on that prospect?
So I guess we're doing WrestleMania previews already.
No, just asking, where would you stand if Roman was the champion after night 2?
I fully expect Roman to win this championship. I fully expect Roman to walk away with this championship. I fully expect Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes for that championship. I fully expect we're going to get eventually those two meeting head to head for the third time, and a title will be on the line, but this time it will be the World Heavyweight Championship. I fully expect CM Punk to drop this title.
I'd love that. That's a triple threat I'd love to see.
I also fully expect Drew McIntyre to not lose his title. We live in this era. We live in this world where we all think, and we're all guilty of it, is the story has to end at WrestleMania. For some reason, Cody Rhodes said that he has to end his story, and now every single WrestleMania since then, the title has to change. Gunther has to drop it at WrestleMania. Roman has to drop it at WrestleMania. This person has to drop it at WrestleMania. It's ridiculous. Drew can win. Drew can retain. Drew will retain. I think that he should retain. He needs to retain. He needs to have other opponents in this title run. Whereas CM Punk doesn't need to retain. We need heel Roman Reigns champion back. It's needed so much. We need it so much. He needs to be on Netflix. He needs to be the World Heavyweight Champion on Netflix. He needs to defend this title against members of the Vision, possibly Seth Rollins again. Potentially Obafemi or whoever it may be. Roman will spark some stuff up. I think that they're dropping the ball, keeping Cody on SmackDown, having superstars on SmackDown, because let's be real. Netflix is their main show. Raw's their main show. Their main story needs to be on Netflix. That's why Roman's going to be the main champion again. And we need it. As much as you guys don't want it, we need it. I tell my son, no more Capri Suns, man. You need water. I know he doesn't want it, but he needs it. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes we think we know what we want, but we don't. And we need Roman Reigns as our champion, our tribal chief.
All right.
With no stable, just him. Just whooping ass.
There you go. There you go. It's gonna be interesting, man. It's gonna be interesting to see where they go from here. The road to WrestleMania officially starts. Again, I don't think we should sleep on the Elimination Chamber changing what we think how it's all going to be, especially the world title matches, especially one of those world title matches. I think Punk is safe to hold that title. I would not sleep on the undisputed title possibly changing hands. And I'll be honest, I don't hate. First off, the deal. 1885, appreciate you tuning in. Joining us here. Hopefully, if you haven't yet, subscribe to the channel. But Lesnar, Obafemi, Gunther, that would be fun. But one of those two, if you would put that triple threat to go down, that'd be really cool. Or just one of those guys against Lesnar, that'd be pretty neat. We didn't see Jericho today. That was an expectation, which is fine. Hardy Boys, that would have been pretty cool, but didn't get that. I think that was saved for the Bella Twins, which was fine. Maybe does that, do we get to see the Hardys at WrestleMania? We'll see. But again, we'll see how everything plays out with the world title picture. In the end, let me ask you, you said, after talking about the men's rumble, you felt better. You started marking out a little bit. Final wrap up. How many stars would you give this PLE for WWE?
Do you want me to turn it into Meltzer so bad? Listen, this is a solid 3-star match. 3-star pay-per-view PLE. Right in the middle, you had your high spots, your low spots, but you have to grade this at a higher level, right? This isn't some Backlash or some mid-card, mid pay-per-view PLE. This was a top-tier, top 4 one. I expect more. I wanted more. Listen, DSG, about an hour and a half ago, DSG was joking about Josh falling asleep during the show. That happened multiple times. You know when? When the matches ended and we had 30 minutes of commercials and 30 minutes of entrances, that's when I closed my eyes. Because gosh darn it, man, 4 matches shouldn't take this damn long. I know that the Royal Rumbles are long, but man, those commercials, those travel logs, 20 minutes in between matches. AEW does it where it's 1, 2, 3, ding, 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 boom, next match out within 30 seconds. Like literally. WWE does it 1, 2, 3, next match is in 30 minutes. There needs to be some kind of middle ground here. We need to let the matches breathe, but I don't need to fall asleep in my recliner while I'm waiting for the next match, because that happened twice tonight.
There you go.
So with that being said, I am going to go ahead and get us on out of here. If you're new to the channel and you enjoyed our content, please, we're here every single Saturday night at, I don't know what time, 6 p.m. I would say we're 6 p.m. 6 p.m. 5 p.m. Eastern. Yeah, 5 p.m. Eastern. The Royal Rumble really threw me off. Yeah, 5 p.m. Eastern every single week. We do shows. We don't do current events. So you're not going to get the Raw review. We're not going to get the SmackDown review. We do nostalgia reviews. We do sometimes we do news, but mainly we're keeping it towards reviewing older stuff. And I want to pitch this to you. Unreal Season 2 just came out. We can watch that. We can talk about that next week or down the line. That's the kind of content we're putting out there. So if you're into that kind of content, no holds barred for you. My name is Josh Kimmel. That's Bobby Finn's Talk, or Robert the Immortal One, right? Bobby Melendez, Mr. 14-time champion, yada, yada, yada. I'm just Mr. Humble Josh Kimmel, and I give out my opinions. You can find me at Real Talk Wrestling as well, Thursday nights, 6:30 p.m. Bobby, where can we find you over here talking about Miami Dolphins?
Man, catch me on Fitz Talk Today on Thursday nights. You can catch me on Monday nights for the Fitz Talk Draft Show. We didn't get to do one this week because everybody was dealing with the winter weather. It's 2 degrees right now. Well, it's 20, but it feels like 2 degrees because of the wind chill. But yeah, you catch me on those. Catch me on, No Holds Barred Wrestling. And East Tetry Boys, which should be coming back up soon pretty shortly with Alex. He's been dealing with some stuff with family, so we'll get those ones going here. And you can catch me, of course, on Twitter if you haven't already. Follow me at Bobby Finn's Talk, altogether one word, Fins, F-I-N-S. So thank you all for tuning in.
Man. It's been a great show, Bobby. I really appreciate it. And just wanted to plug one more thing. The Smashing Machine review, movie review. If you're new to the channel, we actually watched the Smashing Machine starring Dwayne Johnson. And we talked about it. It's a great movie. It's a good movie. It's on HBO Max. Stream it. Come to our channel. See what we thought about it. Leave some comments down below. I think you're really going to enjoy that one. But until then, guys, we'll be back next week breaking down something fun. So stay tuned, man. Bobby, have a great night and stay warm out there in Florida. It's going to be 30 degrees tonight. So stay warm, everybody. run those water in your pipes. Don't let the pipes burst.
Later, guys. Have a good